What's up? I'm Brandon Perl. I'm an artist. I'm a finalist for the ONLi Packs backpack. They look great. Super excited about it. Yeah, that's me.
All right, so tell us a bit about your background, whatever you wanna go into.
Well, I grew up in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. I come from divorced parents, and I have triplet siblings. My little brothers Bradley and Bryce, and my sister Brianna. So I've always kind of been in like an adult role. I grew up really quick, and art's always been kind of like a way for me to kind of express myself in my own way and something like that I have control over in my life.
When did you realize your passion for art?
Definitely at a young age. The oldest memory I actually have is when I was like maybe 5 or 6 years old. I was like just drawing on the white walls with crayons, and actually Delisha brought this up in my mind when she was giving her interview. But I remember my mom coming home and she was not too happy with me. But then I was like, but it looks so good. Like I don't know. I invested in it, and then it was just always a way for me to kind of like release that darkness that I was dealing with growing up, especially in middle school. You know, moving around, changing schools. And having to like assume like a mature role as like an adult figure in the lives of my siblings. So it was just like kind of my way to have like a healthy release.
So take us through the process of how you found your artistic style. You kind of mentioned that it happened early on, but what's maybe some of the progression from through your artistic career, I guess. What's that?
My artistic career has been all over the place. I remember when I was really young, I'd draw like monsters because like Pokemon was like a big thing coming up. But then from there it kind of got dark, like my middle school years, growing up, those types of things happening. So I started to do a lot of black and white line work. And then music came in and was a big part of kind of my art, and like the music would tell me things like just in my brain, and it would like influence like the way I make lines, the way the shapes come about and things like that, which it even took it further because I had a teacher in high school who just like looked at my stuff and he was like, dude, this is awesome, give me more of this, I don't care what anyone else is doing, just you keep doing this, like keep making art. And it really inspired me to go on and pursue that in college, and which in college I totally switched up. I wasn't even working in like a 2D medium, it was more 3D medium, working with sculpture, working with like glass and glass blowing, or even just experiencing like new forms of art and graphic design and printmaking and those types of things.
What's given you the confidence to even try those many mediums?
Just maybe like an inner passion and a drive just to experience things, but also life happens, things don't always go your way, but I do believe that things happen for reasons, and certain things and experiences that happen in your life cause you to pivot and change and look and reflect. And I wouldn't be here today if I wasn't a product of my experiences and just like going through the motions of wanting to be an artist and live an artistic life.
What is next for you in your art, or what do you hope to be next for you in your art?
I'd like to work bigger, and I'd like to do more apparel. Like I have this T-shirt on that a friend of mine and I put together. It has a great message we're sharing. It's a sample one of our favorite bands uses, and I think it has a much deeper meaning than just being a sample. Like we share this earth, we share art with one another, we share music. We share a lot of things, and I think people are really quick to forget that we are all just people. We're all human beings just existing, on this plane, in this space, and we are shared.
Who are some of your biggest inspirations? I gotta know. Is it family members, friends, other artists?
Oh man. Growing up, it was like in high school, it was the two kids I sat next to in art class, and it's amazing because both of them are now tattoo artists, one in Chicago, and the other in LA, but also I think I draw a lot of influence from like Keith Haring. Love his style with his line work and his little characters, and especially like the music he stands for, like Tribe Called Quest, old hip hop jams, that kind of stuff. Also, my little brother is a huge, well, really all my siblings, but in particular my little brother Bradley. He's kind of been finding his way in his craft as a rapper and a musician. And he works harder than on his craft, like harder than I think I work on my craft. And it's really amazing to see him like push the boundaries in his music, and like do those types of things, because it's almost like the sibling rivalry where it's like, okay, I did some cool art stuff. Oh, but Brad's got this new song. He's got all these followers, and at Brad Varsity on Instagram.
Yeah, you can shout him out.
Yeah, he loved that. But he's up and coming. He's trying to blow it up too. And you know, my family, we're very artistic, very creative people. Like my one little brother, my other brother Bryce, he's a pilot. My sister Brianna is into like event planning and that kind of stuff. So we definitely all have like this sense of creativity, which is nice.
Any advice for the younger generation of artists coming out there? Your siblings they're younger siblings, right? So,
yeah, they're about 3 years younger.
Yeah.
But even like with me, I'm an art teacher, so
right. You're in it. So what do you tell your students? What do you want them to know as they move forward?
You just gotta make stuff, and you just gotta kind of be fearless in your art. And like, I mean, I get scared all the time. Like even like submitting a design for this contest, I was scared. I was like, oh, what am I gonna say? Like, because I really wanted it. And if you really want something, you can't let fear kind of hold you back from that. And then like I just remember like a time 3 years ago, like I kept seeing all these cool street artists, like when I would go to shows or galleries or festivals in the street, like everybody had stickers. And I was like, man, like I want stickers. And just one day it clicked, like nobody's gonna do this for me, I gotta do it myself. So then I made my first sticker like 3 years ago, and now I'm up to like 20, 22 different stickers that I've made. I got a backpack, I got like 4 t-shirts. So really just like be patient and not afraid, and like push your art, and good things will happen.
What is the most moving moment that you've experienced in relation to your art, either through creating it, sharing it to the world, or even just like you personally reflecting on it?
Well, I think it's yet to happen, but a cool moment that happened to me earlier just today, even just being here and meeting people and talking to people, I think it's Nick, the gentleman upstairs. Nick was looking at one of my stickers that I did that was actually based on the design I did for the backpack. And he was looking at it and he was kind of explaining to me like how he thought it went. And he was talking about like both sides of the brain, one side being logical and the other side being creative, and kind of basically telling me what my art practice was without me even like realizing it. And it just clicked, and I was like, whoa. Like, because my art process is totally organic. Like, I don't really plan. I don't really have like a plan in mind when I start. I just know it's going to be lines and shapes. For the most part, some layering is going to happen. But in that, like the logical side is like, okay, well this goes here and that goes there, while the creative side is just free flowing and creating. And that was just like a wow moment for me, because it's like, here I am meeting this guy, I don't even know him. He looks at my art and he's able to tell me exactly, what I'm thinking, but it was subconsciously happening for me.
Why because you're a teacher, and I know from the small stints that I do working with students that your heart has to be 1,000% in it, especially to do it on a daily basis. So how much does that like community mean to you? How much or why does it mean so much to you?
Like kids are the future, right? And there weren't so many people that would look out for me, or that I felt like had like a sense of who I was or what I was trying to do when I was younger. But I do remember, the few good teachers that really pushed me to continue with my art and really kind of nurtured me as a young artist. And I really want to be that for kids that might not have any sort of, guidance or mentorship in their lives. And, especially for me, like, growing up, like, my dad was always away at work, my mom was always working, kind of to support their family. And it's like, I didn't really have a mentor, I just had to do it, right? So for me to be a mentor for kids, and not just like, I'm still looking for a mentor, but for me to be able to be put in that role and help kids through some of their stuff, and maybe, show them what's up, I think there's merit in that.
Absolutely.
And it definitely, hits home.
So if one day you become the next Picasso, Warhol, etc., 100 years from now, what do you want people to remember about your art and why?
I think I would rather just them to remember to stay humble, be patient. Rome wasn't built in a day, and just really, buy into the experience of life. If my art's around, cool. If not, like, at least I had fun while I was doing it.